Hello, everybody. Jason Knapp, New 80s Revolution, on the Sunday morning. First of two videos today, the power hours later. But first, I wanted to give an update on my friend who is homeless. If you recall, a couple of weeks ago, I came on and actually set up a GoFundMe page for my friend. And many of you responded and helped out tremendously. I'll get to that in a minute. I didn't even know that I don't know. It's kind of a long story, and again, I don't want to get into too much of his own personal information, but I hadn't talked to him in years. Maybe running into him here and there at a flea market or something. So I didn't know what had happened within his family. I didn't know what happened to his parents. They're gone. They're both gone. I had no idea. And one day, a few months ago, a friend of ours, another person who I hadn't talked to in forever, except here and there occasionally, messaged me and said, I think this is what's going on. And I think our friend's homeless. And I went looking for him and found him, and we talked, and sure, yeah, he was homeless. So my friend and I, my other friend and I, kind of teamed up and said, we got to figure out what to do here. I gave him some money. My friend and his wife super generously bought him a whole, kind of a winter get-up, warmth clothes, coats, thermal underwears, boots, hand warmers, stuff like that. And that's when I decided to do some more. And so I made the GoFundMe page, and then it was spread all around. And so things are happening. So here's where we're at. First of all, massive thank you to the folks who donated to the GoFundMe. This is not a national, a nationally broadcast story. So I knew that our audience was going to be small, but our audience was going to be kind. Because of the kindness that you've shown me through the channel, I knew that you were the right audience. And so I wasn't expecting, this thing to go massively viral and, get my friend $300,000. We've gotten up to about $1,000 so far from donations, which is awesome. I was able to give him about $750 the other day, hand that right to him, and then the way I've set, I think weekly, whatever's left in the GoFundMe will come into my account, and then I'll go see him and give him another little package of cash. I think I will be able to give him maybe another 150 or so after fees or what, I don't know, whatever. So he got his first chunk. That's good. And more importantly, through some shares on Facebook, somebody from the homeless advocacy world reached out to me and said, let's help. Let's get him in a place. So I was going to do that on my own through an organization here in Monroe County. There are mental health apartment programs here. But I'll tell you what, and I don't know if anyone's, I'm sure nobody from there is listening, but people just don't get it, man. People don't get it. They don't get how difficult it is when you have nothing to start the process of getting something. The doors are slammed in your face if you have nothing. So my friend has an ID that hasn't been updated or renewed since 2004. He has no idea where his social security card, forget it, that's gone. He's never worked a day in his life for organized employment. However, I do believe he is in the Medicaid system, or he's in the social services system somehow, from maybe having some health care previous years. So that's good. At least his existence is known within the state. But, I reached out to somebody at one of these organizations and immediately was told, this isn't permanent. He's got to he's got to work towards independence, which is fine, but we got to define independence. It's a little differently for everybody, or it's defined a little differently for everybody. So anyway, I was going to still follow through with that, but it was going to be a frustrating road until this person from, an organization reached out and said, we do outreach. We get people connected with food stamps, with social services, and we get people placed in apartments. And I was like, all right, where the heck did you come from? But thank you. So he and I talked yesterday, and this coming week, and I know my friend watches this. I know that he spends all day at the library and actually watches my videos and all sorts of other entertaining stuff. But we're going to be setting up a meeting. The person with the advocacy center thought that it would be helpful for me to be a part of the meet and greet for your comfort. And so we're all going to be getting together this coming week, hopefully. And then we're going to start the process. Unfortunately, the process is slow, and nothing against their organization, but there's a lot of hurdles, there's a lot of roadblocks. But this group has been very successful, and the group has existed for, I think, what did he say, maybe 8-10 years. The organization is maybe longer. So they get people placed, but it could take a while. So I'm going to keep the GoFundMe up, link below, of course. But I want to thank you guys for the donations, for the shares. So that's what got my friend some cash in his pocket, which all he's paying for is food. He's got to eat. So he probably buys a couple of meals a day, and meals could consist of a frozen dinner that he's allowed to microwave at a grocery store, or some prepared food. So the food budget will need to stretch. I'll continue to provide funding when his funding runs out, through the GoFundMe and through myself. And we'll just ride this out until we can get him into a roof over his head with heat, preferably, which he doesn't have right now. So all of you guys who donated, I can't thank you enough. I don't want to call you out publicly and say who you are, who donated. I don't think you'd want me to do that. Maybe you would, I don't know. But all of you from the channel who donated, I can't thank you enough. Anybody who shared the GoFundMe on their Facebook, I can't thank you enough. Anybody who didn't have the means to donate but prayed for my friend, I can't thank you enough. Anybody who reached out to me and said, keep going, keep fighting, I can't thank you enough. So any contribution, whether even if you just watched the video and thought about it for a little while, can't thank you enough. And it's humbling, and it's grounding, to know that this can happen. This can happen to anybody. We're all a paycheck away from being in trouble. And mental health is a beast. It really is. And my friend honestly would qualify for disability, permanent disability, due to mental health and probably some growing health problems, physical health problems. But New York State's not going to, they're not going to make that easy. I know from working in this field that even if my friend had the ability and the support to fill out a permanent disability application, it would likely be denied, and then he'd have to find a free attorney, and then it would sit up in the system for about 18 months until he got an interview and then possibly an approval, with some back pay. So that would be nice, but they make you wait, close to 2 years before they approve you. I can't tell you the percentage of people who get denied on their first attempt. I would think it's somewhere around 85% of people get denied on their first attempt at disability. Then you have to jump through the hoops, and it's a joke. You know, it's comedic. I don't get political on this channel. I don't rant about how I feel about stuff, because I know that would upset 50% of the viewers. That's just the way it is. Look at last year's, look at any election, any presidential election in our country. It's 50-50 usually, right? So 50% feels one way, 50% feels the other way. That's great. I like everybody, but I don't get into these kinds of discussions because, you know, it'll always lead to some kind of dispute, and that's not what the channel's all about. So regardless of where you stand on the issue, I got to help a friend of mine who's you know, basically sleeping in, you know, an enclosure that is just as cold as sleeping outside. You know, last night I went into my garage to get something out of the fridge, and I was freezing, and I stood there for a moment and thought, how would I sleep in here tonight if I had to? Now I'd be more dressed, I'd have more blankets, but could I actually sleep in this garage tonight? You know, I don't know how. I don't know. And that's the equivalent of what my friend is doing. So again, huge, massive thank yous. We got donations from $5 to $250. We got up to, we're probably close to 1,000 now, maybe 960 or so. So thank you. I'll keep it open. The GoFundMe will be open. It'll just stay open until, maybe until I help them get placed into an apartment. My friends, I don't know if you want to be known, but, you know, my friends, Too Hottie, and his lovely wife, certainly his better half. They are kind of they got this whole thing started, you know, and they have made some massive contributions to my friend. Some of their family members made some contributions. So huge support. And so I wanted to give you the update because you were involved in this. So that's the update. The ball is rolling. He's got money in his pocket. Still no heat. Still no place to live. But an organization is on board, and we're going to keep pushing forward. So that's that. That's all I got. That's the update. Later today, we'll be back with a power hour. A couple of great batches of questions from you guys, and that's where we're at. So thanks for watching. Good night now.